Hi, welcome to Profile Tree. My name's Stephen, and on today's video we're going to look at how you can create your own social network which will allow you to share and create your own content and bring that to a community close to you. In this video we're going to look at what is Ning and how Ning can be used to help you create your own social website, and also how can we create this site, how can we produce content from blogs to adding video, and of course adding new members from your community. So let's get in. So the first thing we want to do is we want to explore what is Ning and how it can help you create your own social website. So Ning is a tool and a content management system along with a website builder which will allow you to promote, target and raise awareness for your next big project. Essentially, you could be the creator of the next Facebook. And what Ning allows you to do is have a feature and a system where you can manage your members, upload unique content, and of course, all these features are built in through the Ning tool. So Ning has many features such as e-commerce, which allows you to build in payment systems, allows you to add revenue to your website through your blog and through your social media content. And thanks to Ning's online e-commerce platform, you can do this. You don't have to be a developer to use Ning. You don't have to have coding experience. It can help in some areas, and you'll see later on in this video how it can help. But you don't need to be a coder or a developer. It has strong engagement with interaction from social media, so you can pull in features from Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and even more. It has a lot of custom design and templates, so very similar if you were starting fresh with something like WordPress, where you have a lot of templates and themes to choose from before you start. It has a fantastic 24/7 support team, which can be accessed via live chat feature and messaging service. A lot of features that are included, such as blogs, forums, videos, social shares, and as I said before, e-commerce. There's a lot of options, and of course, don't forget that you can integrate with an e-commerce system, and this is quite new to Ning and what they've done recently in terms of their updates. So just to get started, let's start today by creating our own social network. And what we're going to do here is we're going to simply click on Get Started, and from there we can register the details. So as this part of the video, I will let you continue through the basics of entering your name, your own details, and then we want to look at the network topic. And what this will be for is this will be for creating the base template, and this will help you set up exactly what you need to do. So if your social network is for sport, is to be a blog, is for religion, education, you can see there's a lot of options to choose from. So in today's video, we're going to create a travel and tourism website for Ireland. And what we're going to do here is we are going to actually choose blog, and that will help us get started. The next thing we want to do is we want to choose our network name, our network URL. So what does your audience, what does your community type in to Google or type into their internet browser to find your online social website? So our website is going to be about travel Ireland, discover Ireland, and something along those lines. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to do a bit of research, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to get started. And of course, when you're ready to continue, you of course can log in through your social network, or you can just click sign up now, and that will get you started. And we're going to continue this process when we come back, and we're going to have our new social website ready to go. So now that we have successfully registered our account on Ning and set up the package that we want to choose, we now have been welcomed to the Social Site Manager dashboard. From this dashboard, it's kind of the intro screen. If you're familiar with anything like Wix or WordPress, you may have seen something very similar before when you first set up your account. And what you're welcome with here is a few promotions and announcements on Ning and how it works. Some basic features on how you can use Ning and how you can set it up in terms of your profile and your own account. And of course, any form of statistics or analytics that you have on the site. So the number of blogs you have, the number of videos. From your community, how many members are actually uploading their own content, and have they been approved by an admin such as yourself or another user to go live or go public. So you get a lot of options from the dashboard itself. Throughout the social site manager, you will see a lot of settings, which we will not cover all in this video, but you can certainly have a look at in your own time once you get your own Ning network set up. So from here, we can look at the likes of sites and pages, and this I would say would be very important to look at first. And what this is really looking at here is the basic structure or the basic layout of your main pages, and this also includes your navigation bar. So when in a second I show you our Ning network and you see the preview site, you're able to see the navigation bar at the top. So you can actually add and amend your own pages, along with actually delete some pages too. Not all pages can be deleted, such as the profile page, as they're required to have your own profile. But you can add new pages if you wish, just by simply clicking on add a page. And from that, you can give that page a name. So if we click add a page, we'll then be given the option of changing the title. So we can call this about, and let's go with latest news, I think, or let's just call it news page. We don't want to set it as a home page. The page type is an article. I think that would be, yep, that's fine. Of course, we'll leave it as published for now. If, however, you're wanting to trial and test, of course, you would always set anything to draft, but we'll leave that as published. The tab title, so that will just be again how it appears in the navigation. So again, we'll leave that as news. And who can add content to this page? So is it admin, featured members, or all members? And again, we'll leave that as default for now. But of course, we definitely want to approve if anyone else does want to post. Who can view? So is it a private page? Is it for members only? And again, this links back to the e-commerce and Ning, as you can actually have paywall pages where content is denied until a member who's maybe paying their subscription service can access this page. What we're looking at here then is the layout. So from here we can see what way is the content presented on this page when we look at the layout and structure of the site itself. So most pages, you'll know now, will either have all the content in the center, or they may have a sidebar, and that sidebar may feature some advertisements. It may feature some of the latest updates on the site, or possibly even a social wall. So you have a lot of options with this. So what we can do here is we can select the right sidebar. We can actually change the sidebar size to be small, medium, or large. So if we change the size out, that will copy that. And as I said before, we can also add elements to this page. So if we go to add content and we use the drop down menu, we can actually choose a different in options. So as I said, if we wanted to have the latest activity and the latest updates, we can give that a title. So we'll call that latest updates. Visible to everyone, which is fine. And we can add that. And what we're going to see is that it appears underneath activities. And simply by using a drag and drop feature, we can now put that into the appropriate place. We can then add another section, and we maybe want to call this, let's go for members, and that will show the community, and we'll call this community. And again, we'll add that and drag it in. So you can see how easy it is to kind of formalize and set up a structure for your site. For this example, we're actually not going to use a news page, so I'm just going to cancel this. But as I said, you can create your own pages, as many as you wish, and have those in the main navigation bar. You can also have unlinked pages, and all that simply means is they're not in the navigation, but there's still a page in the actual site itself. And what you can do here is maybe on your home page, you can link to this almost like a service page if you wanted to create your own website with different services and different products available, rather than just being a social media. So from that, we have our sites and our pages. We have the ability here to change content for every page, change the name, and of course if this was a child page, so a drop down, we can do that as a sub tab. So a lot of different options, and worthwhile spending some time on the site and pages section of the dashboard to view. The home page is another prime example of playing around with the different content. So how have you layered that out? How have you structured the page? So we can trial this, and you can see in a second how this page will look very shortly. Moving on then to general settings. Within general settings, we can have a look at a lot of different features. So some of these features I've already went up and done a bit of setting up beforehand. So you can see our name of our network is Travel Ireland. You can see a very brief description that we've put in place, and also some target keywords, and what here we're looking at is the content. As you can also see, as we scroll past, there's room for Google Analytics to set up forms of tracking. We have our language in terms of what language you are targeting for, but also the site is based in, and some other features like time, country, and city and state, along with favicons. And favicons will be the item or the icon that you see here at the top of the tab, and hopefully that's in screen. So of course, as we go, we can save our changes and move on with different settings and different options. Ning is also packed with a lot of other features too, and what we can actually do is we can change the domain. So at the moment, if you wanted to visit my Ning network, it would be travel-ireland.ning.com. However, what you can actually do is you can set up an alternative domain, possibly even connect your own via your DNS settings. So just as this loads, you can see there's different options you can use to work with your own Ning network and play around with how you can make this social network the best site that fits your needs. After we look at domain mapping, then we also want to have a look at what other features can we implement and integrate with the site. So here we can look at some form of social media applications. We can look at Facebook as a comment section. Rather than having the default Ning comments that we have built in, we can replace it with a Facebook comment plugin. We can also use Instagram to have an Instagram photo feed. So anything you post on Instagram will be filtered back into the site. And of course, for email marketing and email campaigns, we can also integrate with MailChimp. And these are all features that are actually free and can be added simply by clicking on add the application and then connecting that to your account. So as you can see, there's a lot of features with the social site manager, from looking at the dashboard right through to general settings. But you may be wondering, how do I get to the content? How can I look at the design of my site? How can I start? So normally the way Ning will work is when you select what category and what type of theme that you want to choose from the very start. Looking at the last section we just completed, which was choosing our Ning network, we looked at a blog style site. So what Ning will do is we look at the next tab, as we look at the design studio, we can see a list of options and themes. So in the top section here, where you can see Design Studio, we can see a list of themes, and there's 14 in total here that we can scroll through. But if we scroll down now, we get our first glimpse or our first look at the theme that we had. So as I said, I've went ahead and done a wee bit of setup, and I'm going to come back to these now and look at how we created our own logo and how we added it here. Looking at our main navigation, which we just discussed in the social site manager, and then of course having a look at some of the template content that was put in. As I said, I didn't add any of this content at this time, so the events, the photos are all default. They've all came from Ning, and it's immediate setup. So what we can look at first, when we look at the design studio, we can look at themes, and what we can see here is a list of different options that are available to us. So we can change the theme simply by left clicking on any one of the themes provided, and you can see how that will change our blog and how that will change our theme. So we can see here there's a large hero image followed by the navigation to the side and then our main logo. The layout and the background colors also change as well. The beauty of Ning is that you can also change these too. So if you like the layout, what we're looking at here with the theme is the layout and structure. Where is the navigation? Where is the logo? How is the content positioned? Now remember, you can change where the content's displayed. If you wanted blog to be on the right or events to be on the left in the center, you can do that, and you can do it all through the social site manager. What we're looking at here is the basic structure, the context of how objects are presented, from looking at your logo to your navigation, the colors, the background. And really what we're trying to do is make your life as easy as possible so you can create your own social website as quick and as efficient as possible. So in this example, I'm going to have a look at some different options that we have. We can have a look at music, and you can see with music we have a large hero image followed by our navigation. It's quite large, quite bold, but again we can change these around. We can also have a look at DJ, which is very based towards music with its left sidebar menu. So there's a lot of different features that we can play with. For now though, I'm going to go back to the theme that I had, and what we can do here is actually click on history, and what I can do here is I can see the time and days that I had these features. So I can click on portfolio, and we can see some of the previous elements that I've used before and some of the settings that came with it, and you can see that these are all the same theme, but it actually has saved the settings that I've tweaked. And what we're going to look at now is how we can tweak and customize our own site. So now that we've set up our theme and we've got our portfolio chosen, we can now move on to the header section. The header section on any website is the top head that you see on screen here, and this is this black bar, the graph out bar, and this will contain the logo and the main navigation. So when we select header, we get a few tabs that appear, and we're going to start from the top and work our way down. So when we look at style, when we see style, we can see that there's a few options here. Some points to notice: it's maybe quite hard to see on the screen, but the light grey bar in the header section you can see in the icon is the navigation, so that is your page names. And the darker grey bar is actually your logo and page name. So if we left click on the first option, we'll see how the logo moves to the top, and the navigation then runs central along the bottom. And we can see that there's different options for each. We can have side menus, we can have right sidebar menus, and also of course we can have the traditional logo on the left and navigation on the right. So again, a lot of options to play with, different tweaks, and I do imagine you would spend time going through the different options you have, along with also adjusting the height if you wish. You can also increase any padding and width of that site too, along with the height of the style and navigation of the header. So a lot of options, really a lot of trial and error, so playing around with different features and eventually finding out what works for you. We then can move on to the name and logo, and what we can see here is my logo has been Travel Ireland, Discover and Explore as the tagline. And you can actually upload your own image. So of course, you can look at our other tutorials on YouTube of how you can actually create your own logo using different services and different formats. But for this tutorial, we're going to look at how we can actually add our own image. So if we remove this for now, just to imagine that it wasn't there before, we can add a logo simply by clicking on the logo image. And from there, we get a list of the images that we have on the computer. So we have our whiteout logo, and we can left click and open on that. And now hopefully it will load the logo in place. So now that our logo has been added, we can then start to look at different options that we have with that logo, and that may consist of the slider, and from here we drag this down that we can actually increase or decrease the size of the logo, either making it smaller or larger as we scale it up. From there then we can also look at our padding options, and if we wanted to increase the spacing above or below the logo, we can certainly do that by changing the pixels underneath. So in this example here is if we change this to 100 pixels at the bottom and 100 pixels at the top, you'll very quickly notice how the site responds to that. And you can customize the feel of your site and the layout by changing different options and elements. So as I said before, it is a lot of trial and error. It will be a case of playing around with different options until it works, but I suppose that is the basis of most web projects or most technology now, is it's a lot of trial and error and working out what works for you and what doesn't. So we look at the alignment, for instance. Depending on how we have set up the header, on this occasion, this style of header, there is no alignment features added, but on an occasion it's a lot of trial and error, seeing how it works and how it fits in with your site. Moving on then to navigation. When we look at navigation, we imagine that the navigation is really from around here across to around here, and that is simply just the box that applies. So when we look at the background, we can see that there's a lot of colors. So when we go to change the color, we need to remember that it's only the navigation that we're changing when looking at those color options, and that will consist of the tabs as well. So we can change out all the colors for each, and you can customize these buttons as you go. Now if you make a mistake, prime example here is this looks quite poor in terms of color and design. So what we can do is we can just hit revert, and that will bring it back to the way it was before. But you can begin to play with different options on the actual tab. So we have our tabs here, and if we had a drop down menu, we would have sub tabs underneath. So let's look at the color first. So first of all, we can look at the font color, and we can look at the font itself by looking at different fonts available. You have quite a list there you can choose from. Again, you can also select any of the fonts that are applied, and that will change the font of the tabs on top. So I will leave that as it was before with Helvetica. From there, I can then change the font size if I wish. So if I want to increase the font to make it bigger or smaller, or just leave it as it was. So we'll go back to 20. I know it was 18, but a bit bigger is actually better here. And then we can look at our font color. So again, if we wanted to change the color of the font, and that will show the tabbed font that's not currently active. Active is what page you're currently visiting. So in this case, we're on the home page. You will see it's white with an underline. This will be the same for hover, and we'll look at this in a second. So we can see we have different options and we can trial and look at what options work best. We also have gradient style options. We can have a look at different gradients that are available. And you'll notice here how it has that light red down into more of a dark reference. And again, you can trial different colors and see what works well for yourself. Again, I'm just going to keep it though as it was by default. Now, if I wanted to change this hover to be green to match in with my brand, well, what I can do is that I can then select the active color and look at the text type. And from there, I can change that font color to be the green. Now, the green that I've used for my font, I have a hex code already, and I can enter that in, and I can actually save that as a code. So I can close that off, and now when I highlight, now I have my branded green. And what I may want to trial is different options. So I could have changed the background color to be green and leave the text as white. So I could have had it actually as white. And then as you hover, you have a white background. So again, different options. You have a lot of options to play with, but really again, back to it, it's a case of looking at what works well for you and how can it fit into your design. And the same applies to any form of tab spacing, alignment, and tab padding. So there's a lot of options there you can play with. Moving on then, we can have a look at the canvas background. And again, what we're looking at here is the header section only. So we're not currently looking at the page yet. So when we look at the full width background, we can have a look at different options here too. We can start to play with the color. And again, remember we have the navigation here remains the same. We also have different elements for pictures if you wanted to add in a picture instead. So you can do different styles and different settings of having the site displayed. So you can see how a picture comes up. And you will need to, of course, look at the different sizes that are available and different options you have. There's a few here where you can actually stretch the image and try and bring it across. So as I said, you have a lot of options you can play with, and you can try and bring these into your own style and your own theme. So just for this purpose, again, I'm going to revert back to the black that we had before. So now that you've got a feel for kind of adjusting the background and the header and some of the styles, we then want to start moving on to the likes of the page settings and looking more at the detail that we see in our pages. So when we look at the pages, we can look, of course, at the page background. If we wanted to change this out again to adjust, we can look at the paragraphs and look at the font. And a few things to note here is that the body type and the body text font are adjusted as the title elements, actual content inside. So if you look here, the actual content from an event or from a blog is actually slightly different. And those styles appear later on when we look at our editing and we look at modules. And you'll be able to see how here you can adjust. So one of the things that I found quite confusing at first, but once you get used to it, it makes sense, is I can change this to Arial. You'll notice how very little changes, so we don't have a lot of headings. I'm just trying to think, can I change the font that's a bit more obvious? So you can see how our general changes and where you can see those changes in the font. Again, if we change this as well to the page title, so we can actually see what changes. Where we want to change maybe is the modules. So again, we can have a look at the different options that apply through our font. So again, if we change these, now we can start to see our module changes. And of course, any links that may be applicable. So a link would be an example of a page link. Again, if we change that out as well, you'll see how these change too with the post title and any form of content links. And you can see, there we go. So just to revert a lot of these back to Helvetica that we had before. And there we go, back to where we were. So you can see, you can get an idea of how you can adjust the pages. So really to break it down for pages and modules and links. And also, of course, buttons too, if they may be applicable. In this case, in this example, we don't have any that will be applied, so it's not a problem for us, right? So now that we've looked at the basic design and the basic formatting for our header and our navigation, we can then start to publish our changes and learn how now to add content. And that's really where we get to the most important features of Ning, looking at how you can manage the content on the site, adding new blogs, new articles, and new videos. So let's move on to that now. So before we move on to that, we also want to publish our changes and want to confirm what we've done. And just like if we were to save or leave the page without hitting save, we would lose some content. So one of the most important things we want to do is make sure we've clicked on publish to push those changes. So now that we've closed out of our design studio, you'll see now that we're in the live site. So if we click on view your site, it will then load an example, and from this we can see there's different pages, different content available. So if we click on about for an example, we can see here that we should in theory have a blank page. So from there we can look later at the design studio again on how we can edit that page and look at the content management system. But for this focus here, we're now wanting to look at blogs, and from blogs we want to learn how we can amend and edit a post and also at the same time add a new one. So you'll notice as you move through Ning, you'll see a lot of different options. Of course, you can see here when you're logged in as an administrator, you can actually delete and remove some of the latest activities. You can see some of the things that we've done as a test. But you can actually also edit a blog by clicking into some of the templates. So a prime example is that you may get some general content with your site. So when you first get your Ning profile, you'll see here is a basic blog. So what I can do is that I can go and edit this blog. And once it loads, I can then see the setup for the blog itself. And some of the things I want to take in here is, of course, the blog title, the content of the blog, and of course any form of excerpt or a small description before you click onto that. Along with that, you also have, of course, the URL of the blog itself. So what we can do now is have a look at the different options by looking at images and different formatting and options for a post. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and get some dummy content that we can put into place, and let's start to fill out an actual post and see how it looks on the front end of the site. So now that we've got some dummy content, we can now start to fill out the site in terms of its content regarding its imagery and also page content. So first of all, we want to start adding in the body content, and from here I have some content just copied, ready to go. And this is just on the topic of the Giant's Causeway, which is located in the north of Ireland. And you can see our content just being pasted in. So very simple, just right click and paste, or if you know the shortcut, Control and V. So we can paste in our content. We can also have a look at the post excerpt, and that's just going to be located here. And then what we'll also want to do is we will actually see if we can add an image. From there we can choose an image. So here's Giant's Causeway. So now that our image is uploaded, we can then choose the layout. So we can then choose to display as full location. We can center or left align. So we'll set that to right align. We can add any padding around that image, so it'll just push text out of the way or create a bit of a larger spacing. And of course we can also look at the width of the image. So we'll just press OK and we will see that image fit into place. So we can now start to see our image in place now. We can also do is change the post title. So from there we can change the title of the post. We can also have a look at is the featured image that appears on the top. So if we left click on this and try and replace that image, hopefully we can upload a new image, which is perfect. So now we have our visibility. We can add tags if we wish, and we can also change the publish date. Along with this, we can also create our e-commerce style system, and we can now obviously look at revenue options and different payment streams. But for this purpose, we'll now just click on update, and we will see how the blog is displayed and how it looks. So we can see we have our headline image, we have our body content, we also have our right aligned image. So all in all, I think it works really well. I think it's very easy to add in content and style it up. Of course, when we're looking at the ability to edit a post, and again, if we click on the pencil tool and we can edit that blog itself, we can then also see different options for formatting. So if we wished, we could space down and create a bit of spacing and padding at the top. We could also have a look at bolding certain elements of a post itself just by using basic word processing tools. So there's nothing really here that should be too challenging for anyone to come in. As I said before though, Ning is set up with an easy and minimalistic view so that anyone can come in and manage their own community and their own social website. However, if you have some code experience or you may want to bring in some additional features, you can also change the structure to show in HTML format. So if you find that easier to work with content, very similar again to the likes of WordPress and Wix now, you can also edit there too. So again, there is a lot of options, and again, if you wish to get back, just click on HTML again and that will bring you back to the file itself. So as I said, very easy to work with, very easy to add your own content, and a blog is a blog, and there's not much more that I could talk about regarding that. Now, if you wish to add a new blog or add new content, what we can do then is look at the plus button then on this case, and we can actually add a new post into place. And once again, I will go off and I will go and quickly grab some demo content here that we can add in place, and this time we'll look at adding a video instead. So now we're going to learn how we can quickly add a video embedded from YouTube or Vimeo or a lot of online sources, and this video will apply to this article. So what we see here is, again, I've went ahead and added some dummy content in place, and this is taken from one of our other websites. So this content we've added, we've styled it, we're happy enough with the layout. We probably need to add a bit more imagery just to style it out, but what I want to do here is I want to add a video, and I can add that video just above Parish Life. So if I now click on media, it says paste embed code from YouTube, etc. So what I can do now is if I go to YouTube and I visit our conleycove.com YouTube channel, I can from here click on share. When I click on share, I can then take and copy the link, and now I can paste that link into the media clip and hit OK. And hopefully now if I go to save and publish, so now if I want to add a video in place or any form of media from YouTube, I can now add that via the media tab. So I first of all click a location where I want that to appear. I then can go to media, and from there I will see paste embed code from YouTube, etc. below. So what I can do now is if I open YouTube and I open Conley Cove YouTube channel, which do check out, and again that's a wee advertisement for one of our other brands, but do look at Conley Cove. It's all about travel and video blogs throughout Ireland and throughout the world actually. But for the purpose of this video, what we want to do is, of course, we want to embed this video into our page, and to do that we want to click on share. From share we want to click on embed, and from embed we now want to just simply copy this iframe. So if we Control C or right click and copy, and then paste that into place, and now if we hit OK, we should see, there we go, our video is displayed. And we can then start to look at different options. So we just left click once on the video, we can then align or right align or change the adjustment of that image or that video in this case. So once again, when we're happy with the layout and the presentation, we'll quickly add a bit of text here for the excerpt for the post itself, which is fine. And once again, we will save and publish that post. Now again, if we try and the URL has been already taken, please choose another. Maybe a test issue. So now that we've added our post and we're now ready to review, we can left click on save and publish now that we're ready, and hopefully we can view our video in action and see how it works. So of course we have our blog, and this time we didn't add a headline image, but if we scroll down we can now see our video, and we click on our video, we can now view that in line, and you can see how it works and how easy it was to add that content. So very straightforward so far in terms of adding blogs and working around with different content. From there we've learned today how we can add new posts, how we can edit posts, and also we're going to learn quickly how we can actually remove a post. So you'll see on multiple occasions I've actually uploaded the same post on 2, possibly 3 different versions. So what I want to do is I simply want to remove this. So the first thing I can do is click on the post once, and from here I can then again see our edit options, so add, plus, and also feature as a feature post. But what do I do if I want to actually delete it, or I want to remove the post itself? So the first thing I'm going to do is click on the edit feature, and from there I can actually edit the post again. So likewise before, you can come in here and add more content if you wish, but what I'm going to do is scroll to the bottom where you will see delete this post, and from there, sure you want to delete? Okay, yes. And that of course will just simply remove the post from the site itself. And I need to do that one more time just to close off these changes. So I'm quickly going to do that now. So now that we've completed our blog, we now want to start going back and have a look at the different options that we have available with Ning. So the next step we can look at is videos, followed by photos, and then the home page. And we'll come back to the About Us page as we have a new tool that Ning has brought in to allow you to build and design your own pages. And there's lots of ways you can do that. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to look at videos and how you can embed and upload videos. So once we finish with the blog, we now want to integrate our own video section, and the way this will work will be different from a blog is that the videos will be the main featured headline. So your blog will kind of surround a lot of other content and focus heavily on the actual pure post or the pure content itself. Where the video comes in though is it's seen as the most featured item within that post or within that media content. So really what we're going to do now is have a look at how we can do the same thing that we did with blogs and learn how we can add a video, add content to a video, and actually also look at displaying that video, whether it's a featured video on the home page or it's just a general video found in the videos page. So we're going to jump right in and have a look at how we can move around and navigate the menus. So in the same way that we created the blog by using the plus symbol on the right hand side to add a new post or add a new blog, video works in the same sense. So when you look at the right hand side of the screen and you see the plus symbol or indicator, you can left click on that and you will be taken to a window screen where you can actually upload your video from your own file or actually embed it from another source. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we will be looking at specifically how we can actually embed videos from the likes of YouTube or Vimeo. And you can do that through the steps that we're going to see on screen. And one of the main reasons that we look at uploading a video or embedding a video is when you embed a video, you are retaining links from another source, whether it's Vimeo or YouTube, and this will link back to your SEO and looking at your search engine optimization for how many links you have going in and out of your site. The other thing is possibly more related to performance, and that is looking at how many files do you have on your server and how much are you taking up in terms of the storage and usage. So if you were to choose upload files, you may see yourself actually taking up more storage than you actually need, especially if you can post that video on YouTube or Vimeo and retain some of those links and some of those obviously key social factors. So what I'm going to do again, we're going to use our Colony Cove brand and we're going to take one of their videos. So you'll see Hollywood Town, Northern Ireland. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the YouTube URL, I'm going to copy that, and in here where you can see add a video from YouTube, you can see you can paste in a link from YouTube, Vimeo or any other embedded code. So what I'm going to do is left click in the open space, paste that into place, have a look at the privacy options, so I'm happy with anyone, and hit next. And what Ning is going to do then, it's going to extract some of the information from that video. It's going to take the video title and it's also going to take normally the first line and normally the first 100 characters or so of the description. And as you can see, what appears in front of us is the actual video title, which is perfect. We can see that from here. Then it takes, as I said, the first line. So what I'm going to do is turn this into a bit of a video blog. I'll probably not take too much of the description, but maybe down to our attractions. And we can bring that into the section and we can have a look again at the formatting options. So again, if we wanted to format this a bit better, and we can start to break down into paragraphs and just a bit more manageable in terms of how it's read and presented. And again, don't forget we can still add more images and more videos in here as we wish. Location, so we can set up to be Northern Ireland. The videos in terms of the video title is fine. I may actually just shorten that down. And the tags, so you can give it tags to be easily presented throughout the site, but also for once the site starts to pick up a lot of videos and a lot of content, the use of tags will allow you to break down the amount of content you have and also make the experience, the user experience of finding content a wee bit easier to manage. So if we call this again, this one's Hollywood, which is a town in Northern Ireland, not the Hollywood in the United States. So again, some video settings, again who can view this video, and do we want to save and publish. So we will save and publish and we will push that live. So that's great. Congratulations, your video has been uploaded, which is perfect. So now if we go to my videos, we should see now that we have our demo content in place, but we also see my own videos that I've uploaded. So again, going back to the videos page, where you will see now the demo videos that were originally in the site, and then now the new video that I've uploaded. So the first thing that I actually want to do is start to tidy up things a little, and what I'm going to do is actually delete the 2 demo videos and import some of my own other content, and we're going to do that now quickly just by deleting a video. And to delete a video, it's very easy. So what I can do is left click on a video, and when I left click on that video, I will see a list of settings and the previous demos that were there. But if you notice, this time on the right hand side I have options instead of just the add new video, and I'm going to use that to see options. So what I could do is to speed up time, I could actually edit the video and change the URL link, and that would replace the video, or I could just delete it. And in this case I'm going to delete both the demo videos, the fashion videos that came with the site or the theme. And again, as you can see how easy it is to go back and delete a video. And what we can also see as well is that when we look at the video that we have at the moment, we have a list of options again, not just under options, but we have featured video. And featured video is how that video is displayed. If you look at the likes of a home page, or maybe you've created a custom page, and going back to when we looked at layouts, you could see there may be featured events, featured videos. And what you can actually do is when you feature that video, you will force it to display on the page. So not all your videos may display on the home page, and by clicking the featured box, you can enforce that video to be displayed in that featured post or that featured area. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do a wee bit of a speed up, a wee speed ramp on this video, where I will go off and I will go and add in a few other videos just to try and fill out the page and have the content ready to go. So if you can, when we come back, we'll have at least 4 to 5 other videos, and we'll have a bit more content displayed, and we'll kind of see how the page lays out the content and how we can push that into the right position. So now you can see we have all our videos. So in total we have 5 videos, and we were able to integrate those through YouTube, and from that we are now able to have content displayed. So we have our main featured video, and in the quick run through you would have seen that I also added another video. So again, just like a blog post, don't be thinking that you only have the single video to play with or the single video to embed. You can actually add other videos to already featured video, and when you add those videos in, they will display in the same way that they appeared on the blog, and of course you can still style those slightly differently as well. So now that we look at the video page, we now start to see a structure unfolding, and we can see some elements there. So we can look at latest videos, most popular, we can set it to be random, and that will just be the sort. One of the things that we're wanting to look at now is how is content displayed on the homepage. So I've went back and added a few more blogs, and we now have a few videos, and we can see our featured videos that we added. So now that we're starting to get a good amount of content in this site, we now want to start having a look at kind of the core focus points. And again, we'll come back to photos, we'll come back to about and also events. But when we look at the home page, we notice an issue. And on the home page at the moment, we can see no events, we see the default photos, which we'll come back to, and no blogs, most importantly. So when we look at the home page, we see 5 videos, so all our videos, and no blogs. And you may be thinking, what is the problem, or why is that an issue? And if we go back towards the start of this video when we talked about the social site builder, which can be found from the toolbar at the top, we should be able to find from there the different settings and layouts. And let's have a deeper look now by going into the builder. So when we look at the builder and we click on sites and pages, we can see our list of pages, a home, about, photos, videos. And again, we could have changed this content. So you'll notice with the videos page, I didn't have a sidebar. In comparison, on the blogs page, I actually had a sidebar on the right hand side with latest updates and comments. So you can see how well structured, once you start to get familiar yourself with the layout and start to add content, how everything folds together. Even personally myself, when I started, it's hard to kind of visualize where content's going to go. So one of the best things to do is kind of get your theme, use the design studio to build out your theme, to get your structure in place, to get your color, and then go straight into content. Don't worry about trying to build out the layout on pages. Don't worry about spending hours trying to figure out where things are going to go. Just put content into the site, and then from there let that obviously take place. So again, if we go back to the social site builder and we click on the home page, as we scroll down we can see the layout. Again, we have the main content flow and we have the sidebar, which is all fine, it's all good. But if you notice, if we click on blog, you will see another settings or another tooltip opens. From here we can change the title to be blogs or articles or whatever you may want to call it. The visibility, public, the description, and how it's actually displayed. So we can have details, which will be the same way a blog's displayed on the blogs page, which is normally the excerpt of the post title and some comments. Or we can actually change that to just be the post titles and not any form of content or excerpt. This is good for someone who wants their blog page to fully display most of their article. So as you scroll, you don't have to click into an individual article. You can just read the articles as you scroll. But for those who, like this video, we've used excerpt sections, which cuts down the text. Detail is perfect, as you can just kind of display that detail out. As I said, titles is for someone who has displayed the whole post or all of their posts on the blog page. So we'll leave that as detail. The actual from, now the reason why the no posts are displayed is just like the video, you need to define some featured posts or featured articles that you want to display on the home page, and that's done in exactly the same way the video works. So when you click on a post, you can hit edit and then set that as a featured post. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to set this as latest activity. And what I can also do is change the amount of featured posts that are displayed, and this will work in even numbers, as you'll see, apart from obviously just one post, but 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. So what I'm going to do is leave that as to show 2 posts on the home page. The excerpt length, so again, this is where how much of that excerpt you want to display, and again I will leave it as 500, that's fine, and I'm happy with that, so I will update those changes. And again, I will save. I'm not going to go back just yet and check the home page, but I'm going to save that for now. Then videos, I want to do something similar with videos. So I want to have a look at only displaying around 2 to 3 videos on the home page. As you'll see at the moment, we have 5. And what I can do is set this actually to be featured. And if I hit update again and save, I should now be able to refresh this page. When I refresh the page, I should hopefully see my 3 featured videos. And now I can also see my 2 blogs that I've set in place. So now you can see how this site is coming together, how my online community is starting to build and form. Now at the moment it's only me adding content, but like any community, like any website, you need to start the site. And once you start the site, then is when you can engage and start to reach out to another audience. So we can click on these posts and we will be seeing that will actually take us to that blog. In this case we have the Carrickfergus Museum, which was recently added as part of this demo. And again, the videos, as you'll notice back in our quick through part of this video that we did this. So you can see again how things are starting to come together and how you can start to style out the site. So my big point of reference is really when you get your Ning community started, the best thing to do is to focus on kind of the design and the build and the colors and the layout. And as soon as you've done that, before you start to go in to individual pages and start to build out the layout on the individual pages like the home, about, and photos and videos, better to focus on content first and then let that sculpt and mold your content into place. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go and have a look at photos, and we're going to start adding in a few photos, and eventually then we're going to finish off with events before we look at some custom fields in this new program that Ning has brought in, which will be the site builder or the page builder. And you can see that actually in the social site builder called Add a Landing Page. And again, this is a new feature they've built in, so I'm looking forward to coming back to this and showing you how this can work and how you can actually build a page as a drag and drop editor, similar to programs like Wix and some plugins in WordPress. So let's have a look at photos first and see how photos work. And we'll not spend too much time on this. As we know from the previous, it will be very similar. So first of all, we'll find our demo images. So the first thing I'm going to do again here is click on a photo, see how it looks. So we have a photo title, and then we looks like we have a gallery here. Possibly not set up from the demo. Oh, no, it is. Just a bit slow, but it's loading there. So as you can see, very similar layout to the blogs and videos, and this is the beauty of Ning. Once you get comfortable with one element, you can see how the developers of Ning have replicated the settings, so how easy it is for you to go in and start to add your own content without spending too long researching or studying on how you can use Ning. So again, if we go to the edit section, and from here we can just delete this photo, and it's just to allow me to get a bigger head start on the actual video itself. So to delete the video or delete the photo, all you need to do is look for the bin, which is underneath the photo, so it's almost hidden out of place. So if we left click on the bin icon, and we can delete that photo, and that will remove that from our photo grid. We can then replicate that the same with the other two photos, and again that will just give us a fresh template to start from, so we can start with our own content. Now we know what to look for in terms of an image being required, a title for that image being required, and of course any description if you wish. So again, very similar to the videos, to the posts and the blogs. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause this video and go and quickly grab some photos from our Conley Cove site, and I will come back again with another 4 to 5 photos added, and we will see how that works very shortly. So again, just to show you and talk you through how you can add your own photo, from the photos page while you're logged in, go to the add symbol again on the right hand side, and then you can find the imagery you have. So I'm going to have a series of images you can see I've saved already. So just by using your computer, you can left click and upload the photos to the Ning community. From there, again, it will take the image name and title. So again, I am taking some of my content from our Conley Cove channel. If I wish, I could actually also add a description, and to do that I can actually just take any content that's been set in place. So if I have that content on another site, or if I have that content typed out, I can actually quickly copy and paste that into the site itself. I'm just going to check our image so we can have a look at rotation options. So again, you can just see our rotate options there. If you wish to rotate the image, and you can keep pressing that until you've wanted to find the image in the right place. Again, once you've found the description and you've added your URL and changed it if you need be, of course you can hit save and publish, and that will of course upload that image into the appropriate photos section. So again, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go and start adding in a few images and photos that I've found, and start adding that to our collection and to our site. So now that we have all our photos uploaded and in the correct position, we can now move on to start looking at the About page, and we can actually have a look at the new feature that Ning have brought in place. Just before I do that though, I did want to bring up one of the things that you may have noticed in the quick motion video there when I was adding the photos in place. it's probably the first time that I've actually found a bit of an issue with Ning, and it may require some further support to look into. But as you'll see, anytime that I uploaded an image, uh, on occasion an image would actually not load, and a black bar or the toolbar uploaded instead. I was able to solve this by actually changing the image height. I later found out that that was the reason for the images not loading in place. The size of the image was too large, and Ning's obviously system wouldn't upload such a large file to a site. So just for anyone else that may run into that same problem, it is important to know that the files do have limitations on the size you can upload. But as you can see, we now start to have our photos in place, and again, hopefully when we go back to the home page, we can see that our photos are now starting to be displayed correctly, and events, which we'll come back to very soon, will start to filter in also. So now what we want to do is we want to have a look at this new feature, the key landing page builder, or landing page builder. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to replace the about page with this feature. So if I left click on add a landing page, I can choose the page type again, and from here I can start to play around with the settings. So I'm going to set this as published, even though our Ning community is live, I want this to be a public site. So as soon as I build this, you can type in our URL at the top, which we'll put in the description, and actually view this site as well. So the first thing I'm going to do actually before I do that is I'm actually going to delete the about page, and in doing so will leave me room to actually add in a new landing page. So let's do that now. So we can add a landing page. Again, we can set this as published, change the title to about, and from there we can leave the tab title to be about as well, and if we wanted it to open in a new tab. So far everything's fine. So if we save those changes, we can now go into the layout and content creator. So if we click on edit layout and content, this will open a Ning builder, and as I said, this is the new feature that Ning have brought in. And you can find this very similar to something like Wix or Squarespace, where you can use a template to create a bit of a landing page and a separate page for the site. Some of the things that I would kind of make sure you're aware of and you focus on is that, of course, when you use the likes of these templates, you will see a difference in the site itself. So you will go from that kind of standard Ning theme to practically a different website at times. So you need to make sure that you're aware of that beforehand, and that is one of the biggest reasons why Ning have called it a landing page builder. And this is not confirmed, but I assume that Ning will be heading this direction with the overall site build and how the actual page works. So what we're going to do is kind of go through this very quickly in some options, have a look at the different settings that you can do, look at what options you can change, and see how this could be relevant to your site and your own user portal, and how can you integrate that with the social network that you're trying to build. So let's get started. Let's have a look at the Ning builder and how it can help you build out a landing page of your choice. So what I want to do when we look at the Ning builder is, first of all, can I get your grips with some of the layout and how it's presented. So you can see I've went ahead here and put together a few bits of content and media just to try and build out exactly what we kind of aspire and hope to achieve with this page. So what I can actually do is, when I visit the likes of the top section, you will see there's a few tabs. So the first thing is a template, and very similar to the site designer that we previously used with Ning, you have a few templates that you can start from and choose from, and these will be presented in different layouts, looking at the navigation bar at the top to different design elements throughout. So you can of course change these and play around with different settings that works for you, and kind of get your boundary and your grips with how the system works. And once you've chosen your template, the next thing that you want to do is kind of focus on the key elements. So you have preview mode, which will generate a mock-up version of the site in a browser and allow you to see how that site would look once it's live. You have your edit mode, which will be the basic drag and drop builder / add templates in. Finally, followed by the design mode, which is kind of your more core design and code. And this is the bit when we said before at the very start of this video, when we mentioned if you are a developer, if you have some code experience, this may come in handy, or it may help out, but it's not needed at all. In fact, what I have here is really just the template, and then I've changed out certain sections. So as you can see, when you highlight throughout the site, you can, when you're in the edit mode, you can actually see small pop-ups that appear, and this will be different options that are available, whether it's change a color, add in a new section, or change out the text. And the best way to learn this is just trial and error. Really, it's picking it up, having a go and getting involved with obviously the tasks and the objects themselves. So the first thing that I noticed when there was the default Ning logo here, I was able to highlight, and I'm not clicking, I'm just putting my mouse on top of the logo, and you can see the image tool comes up, or replace image, and from there I was able to go and upload my files. And you will see here some examples that I have before from playing around with the settings. So I can insert that image into place, and I can set that there. Where the design and code comes in is that if I go to design mode, and with that, if you know elements of CSS, HTML and JavaScript, you can play around with those settings to resize the logo if you wish. Now moving on, you will see that we've reduced the nav bar down to just about us and just to kind of hold the primary page. But next we have kind of the core purpose of a landing page, or the core purpose of this type of page, which will be discover and explore Travel Ireland. And our idea here is that when you click on the button, when you change the text, it's just as easy as highlighting. So if we go back to edit mode, highlight the text, of course we can change that out and define that in any way that we want. It was same for the image. If we just highlight anywhere with the mouse, you will see our toolbar again appears, and we can replace the slide image. But the core focus here was to be a landing page to push users to send this out to potential community guests as a landing page to tell them what it is the Travel Ireland site about and how they can find out more. So again, if we click on visit our blog, the link that I've actually added is the Ning blog page, and I was able to find that by clicking on blogs and then taking the URL from the Ning site. And as you can see, you can apply that to all over the site itself and any buttons that apply. As you scroll down, you will also notice these plus symbols here, and that will be a preset. When you click on the preset, you will see a list of options that are available, from animated boxes to banners to contact sections, counters, galleries, MailChimp, embedded forms, navigation, you name it. The list is there, so there's quite a lot to kind of choose from and to edit, and really very similar to the design principles we looked at before. The idea here is that you take on a design that's already been created and you amend that to fit your own needs. And you can see as we scroll down, I have actually done that already in purpose of the content we're trying to display. So again, read more, I could change that to be another link. With a bit of HTML, I could possibly even remove that if I didn't want to have a read more button. So again, you can see how you can actually start to play around with the different elements and seeing what works well for yourself, and then get a grips for how the site actually works and what you can do with it. So if I wanted to remove that, I may need to reload the page again, but you can see it had a wee error. I don't know what happened there, but as you can see now, the button's been removed, and you can see how easy it was just to kind of figure out a few elements and how you can tweak and amend certain options. And again, when we want to edit the image, assuming that we're in edit mode, we can highlight that image and again left click on replace image and upload our own image, the same as we did before. So as you can see, it kind of just falls down to its own. We've uploaded a lot of images. One area that I haven't changed just yet is the gallery mosaic, and again, this is another preset that was added in. So I could go through this and I could start to add, I could upload images from our folder that we added before, and we can start to filter in those images into the gallery. And of course we can change the titles of each of the gallery posts, and then really just play around with the settings until we have everything set up. For the purpose of this video though, I'm going to leave that as it is for now and move on. We have a few other options, and again we just talked about presets at the bottom. So again, we can delete a whole preset if we wish, just by again highlighting and this time hitting remove layer, and that will finish off our page. And once we're ready and we've checked the site, we've noticed that we're happy with everything the way it is, we can now start to go back and obviously publish this and move on with the project itself and pushing everything live as it should be. And once we're happy with our site, we can now then just click save and close at the top, and that will restart and close off the changes. So again, now that we've saved our changes and we have returned to the Ning portal and the Ning community site, we can now see that that page is displayed in our navigation bar. And of course it's in maybe not the best place at the moment where I want it to be in the location of the navigation, but as you know from before, we can move that by left clicking and dragging that into position. Now once we have that and we open that page, we actually should be able to see the loader. So when we click on about, I'm just going to refresh this page to save those changes from moving the about page. So when we click on that, we then will see that our web page loader will load again. As you can see, I'm having some difficulty loading it into place, but we're just waiting on loading in. As you can see, that is the Ning builder in action. So as I said, it's still a new feature. It's still being worked on. There is a few issues and glitches with it. But I did want to highlight that as part of this video, that Ning are still a very active community and working on adding in new elements and new features each time. Of course, the easiest thing that you could have done for adding a custom page is when you left click on add a page, you can leave it as published, leave it as a custom page, and give that a title, so about travel. And we can again provide that with some content in terms of the box. We can add content in. What type of field do we want to be in there? So we will go for a, let's see, I suppose we could add a blog, and the easy way to do the blog would be to call this about us. And this is maybe a different way of displaying this, but it's just to give you an idea for what you could possibly do. So again, just to recap, now that we've back to our Ning portal and our Ning community page, what we want to do is we have our content in place. We now want to start finalizing and looking at the setup of Ning itself and how users can integrate with the site itself by looking at the My Account pages and registering. So what we want to do here is start to strip back some elements that we don't need, and you may find you'll do this yourself as you build out your own Ning community and your own Ning social site. So what we want to do is actually remove events in this case, and we want to keep this site to be a basic blog and video portal. And the ability there is to kind of focus on media and engagement through social platforms and creating a community via the posts that we upload and the blogs that we create. So the first thing we're going to do is have a look at how we can remove elements, and in this case it will be the events section. So again, if we go back to our social site builder and we go back to our sites and pages, we can first of all remove the events page by selecting events and then hit delete this event, and that will remove that from the page itself. Now we also, however, have some links in which we have to remove as well. Now you'll see I've done this already, and that was the event that was listed on the home page. If we scroll through just to make sure we don't have any further events being displayed, I think we've removed everything. The My Account page has quite a lot of features actually we will not be using. So events is there. We can left click and then hit the bin to delete that. Discussions we can remove. Blog posts will keep. Groups, friends, comment wall, again we'll all keep, and about's absolutely fine. Actually we'll remove about from there too. So again we can save those changes, and then once we have completed those changes we can just review that everything has been changed the way we wanted it to and everything's displayed correctly. And now if we go back and refresh our homepage, we should see that our events tab will have been removed, our photos has replaced it, and then we have again our blog and video, and now you can see how our page comes into action. And when we look at the likes of the My Account page and we check out how we can review the content, you can see first of all again the tabs that were back in the social site builder, and that was the photos that I've uploaded, the videos, the blog posts and the comment wall. And from that you also have a list of options on my own profile where I can actually edit my profile and update a photo. I can change my gender, my city, state, and users can find out a bit more about me and what I'm doing with my account and my profile. So really what we want to do is actually view the site now, and we want to view that as a guest or as a visitor, how the site actually works without being logged in, without seeing all the navigation bars and the sign in and sign out at the top. So if we open, in this case, an incognito window and we go back to the site, now we can start to see a bit of a fresher look on how the site works. And from here we can go in, we can see exactly what we've seen before. When we click on My Account, we'll be actually invited to join and sign up if we haven't already done so. So if we click here to join, we can register with our email address, and we can create a password of our choosing. Again, once we've confirmed those changes, and of course we'll get some Google captchas coming up. Confirm our age, and again we can create the account. And now we'll be given some settings, so we can set up our details. We can drop in a photo if we wish. We can change our country, where we're from, what settings, agree to the terms and conditions, and of course we can join that portal and join that community. So now I have my own account. I can see groups. I'm able to see that, and if the admin or if we've created any groups for users to join in chat rooms. I can see, of course, my own content if I've uploaded anything, and that'll be regarding adding my own posts and blogs to the site itself. And you'll know again from the admin section we can actually create and add our own blogs, but that is a feature that can be turned on and enabled so that not everyone can create blogs. So you'll now see the latest updates. You'll be able to see that I've joined. You can now start to see that I can actually begin to like and engage with comments, engage with the platform itself. And really start to see how the community can form, and as you get bigger, as you build engagement, you can start to see how this reacts. So now if I take that window off the screen and go back to my admin portal, I should be able to see now that I can actually review the members that are on the page first of all, and look and see. So of course there's me, my account that I've registered when I joined. I can see the admin profile. I can actually see broadcast messages, and I can then now start to feed more into the social platform by looking at the engagement that I can do. So again, if I spend time on the membership setup, I could look at having a membership page, going through some settings. So who can private message, is it only friends, who can moderate, who's allowed to post, and how is the template laid out. So you can start to get a feel for how the community starts to revolve and how you can set up your community. And I encourage you to spend time with this, going through each element, looking at what's involved in the site itself, what's involved in your social network, and start to build out your content from there. Of course, if I've enabled the option to post your own blogs, we can actually allow people to post articles, and then they will be held as moderation, or held for a moderator to come along and review those posts. So you can start to see again how the site comes together and how users can actually integrate with the site in a better way. Again, if I wanted to review content, I can look at this profile, I can add them as a friend, I can provide options, I can feature their actual profile. So you can see how a lot of features are built in through Ning, through the My account, and through the engagement of building up a community of your own, and just how you can actually work with this system and build in your own platform. And again, this is built through the members and through the social site manager, being able to add and remove users, but also give them other options. So again, I can set the new user Stephen there as an admin. I can suspend or delete his account if I wish. But again, the most important thing here, as you can see, I can actually integrate with the site itself. I can start to change settings on the blog, who can contribute to this. So I can change this to members. I have to approve blog posts. I can show the author. So if I again save, if I go back to my other profile, our test profile, and if I refresh the blog, I should be able to now see that I can actually upload my own blog post now. So if I take in a blog, I create a blog and I call it spam test and fake news and I want to save and publish, I will see on my profile on my site that that is published. However, I can also see that it's actually awaiting approval. And then again, if I go back and I go back to our admin profile, I can go to content management. I can see that I have a highlight and I can see that Stephen's post has been submitted, but I can actually review it and I can have a look at the post itself. So in this case, I am going to delete that post, as I don't want that to display. And again, I was able to tick a box there, anything that Stephen posted, I'm going to delete that. And as you can see now, if we go back to the site and we refresh the page, yeah, so there's no content there. And again, just to have a look and see what it does for Stephen's page, we can see that the page was not found, and there's no update for Stephen, it's removed. And you may want to send your users a message, you may want to update people on why their blog post was removed. But overall, this has just been a quick review and a tutorial guide really on how to use Ning, how you can set up your own online community and engage with your users. We do hope to do other videos in the future around this and around this platform, so do stay tuned for more. If you have found this video interesting, or you may have any comments, do hit us in the comments below and we can have a look at the questions you're asking for. If we don't know the answers, we can certainly connect with Ning support, who hopefully will be able to help. So there's definitely room to grow, and as I said, as you can see, Ning is still a growing community and it's a growing platform. And I encourage you to give them a try, to move into their system and have a look at how you can grow your own social platform through Ning. So again, do stay tuned for more. If you have any questions, hit us in the comments below, and for any other information, check out our description for links how you can connect to Ning and set up your own profile.